Well, hello there. It's been a while. Welcome to a very, very, very special episode of the Nerd Librarian Show with Mr. Evans. Due to COVID and some other issues, this is my first episode of the Nerd Librarian Show in a long time. 5 years, 2 months, and 20 days to be exact. You guys don't know how much I've missed this and how much I've missed doing all of this for you guys. During the last 5 years, the world, Mr. Evans included, has been through some stuff. We have all been faced with isolation, uncertainty, and an increase in sedentary lifestyles. I feel like they took the social out of society, the real out of our reality, and in some ways, the human out of humanity. Many people have fought their way back and have recovered emotionally and physically and are just as good as before, if not better. But many of us haven't been able to get back to a place of inner peace and self-love. And it can be confusing and scary to feel uncomfortable in your own body and mind. But there is help, my beautiful Mayfair monsoons. And the help starts with you. We all need to start prioritizing our own mental health every bit as much as our physical health. And that starts with the simple habit of thinking about our emotional and mental well-being and creating mindsets and behaviors that improve and maintain our inner peace. Now, you might be saying, that seems like such a daunting task. Where do I even start, Mr. Evans? I'm so glad you asked. You should start the same way you start everything in life, with knowledge. Start by gathering information and getting informed about the topic. In this case, yourself, your mental health, and how to take care of it. And what better way to attain knowledge than books? And what better way to find the right books than a librarian? On today's show, we take a look at a book about a woman who dedicated 1 year of her life focusing on doing things that would make her happy. We look at a book that clues us in on how contemporary life and society might actively be making us more and more miserable, and how we can avoid those traps. We peer into a memoir about a man who hires a Navy SEAL named David Goggins to come live with him and put him through an intense, crazy, month-long training program and lifestyle. And finally, we take a look at a book that gives us concrete steps on living a life filled with more joy. Let's get started. First up, The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. In The Happiness Project, the author embarks on a year-long journey to explore and understand what brings us true happiness. She breaks down her happiness goals month by month, including focusing on specific areas such as energy, relationships, work, and mindfulness. She even comes up with a 12 commandments of happiness. I really like 2 and 3. Ooh, and 4 is really good. You know what? They're all amazing. They're really simple yet effective mantras. Number 1, be Gretchen. Number 2, let it go. Number 3, act the way I want to feel. Number 4, do it now. Number 5, be polite and be fair. Number 6, enjoy the process. Number 7, spend out. Number 8, identify the problem. Number 9, lighten up. Number 10, do what ought to be done. Number 11, no calculation. And finally, number 12, there is only one love. Rubin's systematic approach to boosting happiness, like these 12 commandments, can really offer practical ideas on cultivating joy, resilience, and self-awareness. In the book, she predicts that the 12 commandments would help her to keep her resolution to find happiness. Do you think she succeeded? Can this book help you find happiness? Come on into the library and check it out to find out. What's next? In our next book, Author Dr. Nicholas Kardaras examines the impact of screen addiction on young minds in Glow Kids. He delves into the addictive qualities of screen time and its effects on mental health, social skills, and cognitive development. And while his focus is on young children, the book has a lot to offer for middle and high school students and even adults. This book will enlighten you to the potential dangers and drawbacks of spending too much time on a screen. And if there's anything I wish I could impart on our youth today, it's that we all need to consistently keep track of the amount of time we spend using technology and make sure that our relationship with technology is healthy and disciplined. Let's let the man himself tell us a little bit about Glow Kids.
Hi everyone, I'm Bianna Golodriga and this is Yahoo News Now. 30 years ago, poltergeists made us all worried about your child getting sucked into the television screen. Literally.
They're here.
Well, today the worry is about your child getting sucked into the screens on your phone or tablet, figuratively for now at least. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children are spending an average of 7 hours a day on entertainment media, including television, computers, tablets, and other electronic devices. But all the screen time may have a negative effect on them, creating a generation of kids addicted to that digital glow. Dr. Nicholas Kardaras is an addiction expert and author of Glow Kids, How Screen Addiction is Hijacking Our Kids and How to Break the Trance. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Very insightful book, worrisome for a lot of parents as well. First off, what are Glow Kids? Describe that title.
Well, Glow Kids was sort of, the idea came to me for that name, and I went into a restaurant with my wife, and I think I saw what millions of other people have seen, children hypnotically staring at a digital device, really almost in a trance-like state with their faces washed by the digital glow. And so, as a name, it struck me as this is sort of a generation of kids who have the hypnotic glowing faces. But I think what I saw was that, incontrovertibly, there was a major shift happening with children, and children were effectively getting into these trance, addictive-like ways of being with their digital devices, and it really has crept up on us as a society over the last 10 or 12 years.
Wow, powerful stuff, Monsoons. Always be thinking about your relationship with technology and how it may be affecting your quality of life. Link to the full episode as well as additional resources on wellness in the description. What's next? Jesse Itzler's memoir, Living with a SEAL, recounts his experience inviting a hardcore Navy SEAL by the name of David Goggins to live in his home for 31 days. Now, Jesse is already an accomplished entrepreneur and has challenged himself throughout his life. He built one of the world's largest private jet card companies. He has written and performed some pretty famous songs. He's an author, a speaker, an accomplished endurance athlete, and on and on and on. But when he started feeling like he was stuck in a rut, he reached out to this guy. Let's learn more.
And this NFL football player comes up to me. He goes, Goggins, can I ask you a question? How do you keep that dog mentality? I said, let me ask you a question. When you were younger, what did you want to be? He said, an NFL football player. But once I got there, I lost that dog mentality. He had a finish line in his brain. Guess what? A true dog mentality, I have a dog at home. He never gets full. It's not enough you made to the NFL. It's not enough you ran a 5K, win a 10K. It's not enough you became a doctor, be a better doctor. It's not enough you lost 50 pounds. Go out there and do something with it. Guess what? It's 109 out here, but guess what? It's not enough. Stay hard.
Believe me, that is a very, very tame clip of Goggins. He is intense, to say the least. And much of the memoir details Goggins and how crazy and motivated he is, and all the psychotic exercising that they do. And now, I know what you're thinking, Mr. Evans, why would I want to read a book about some dudes exercising? And what does it have to do with my happiness? And that's a great question. The answer to that is this. First of all, the book details the fascinating lives that both of these men have lived. So it's a page turner just learning about each of them and their stories. That's the first reason why you would want to read this book. It's super entertaining. On top of that, and more importantly, both of these men have a motivation and drive to improve themselves and push themselves every single day. And guess what we are learning more and more can be absolutely vital to creating and maintaining happiness? Challenging yourself. Setting goals and working on them. Setting goals and achieving them. Setting goals and failing. Simply challenging yourself and pushing yourself throughout your life is a core way to find happiness. And these two exemplify that. I'm not saying you have to do 1,000,000 push-ups every day to be happy. I'm not. But you do have to have dreams and goals, as well as the motivation to turn your dreams into realities. And I can't think of a better book to explore that, a better book to motivate you to create your own personal mission than Living with the Seal with Jesse Itzler and David Goggins. Check it out. What's next? This next book also explores the ways in which contemporary society can actively sabotage our happiness. In Happy at Last, The Thinking Person's Guide to Joy, this is straight from the introduction. Happiness is at a dead end. For centuries, one of the basic operating principles of Western society has been the belief that increasing prosperity will lead automatically to greater happiness. But now, for the first time, we have the data to prove that's just not so. In the US and Europe, in the last 50 years since scientists started measuring personal happiness reliably, people continue to report that they are less and less happy every year, although personal wealth continues to increase. As other nations become more westernized and prosperity spreads around the globe, happiness declines as well. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, and we're all resigned to a life of misery living in contemporary America. Quite the opposite. Richard O'Connor goes on to provide insight into the psychological roots of happiness by blending self-help strategies with psychology. He emphasizes understanding and changing thought patterns that can hinder happiness, making this book a natural choice for exploring mental health strategies focused on lasting change, awareness, and self-compassion. What I loved about this book is how it put a science behind the happiness and gives us concrete steps that we can take to arrive at the ultimate destination. So what's one small change you'd try to boost happiness in your own life? And while you're thinking about it, come on into the library and give this book a look. All right, Monsoons, which one of these books speaks to you the most? Are there any of the books that you'd like to see us cover that we didn't cover? I'd like to hear it in the comments down below, or come on into the library. I'd love to hear it in person. That's all we have for today's show. As always, be good to each other, Monsoons.